So, hello and welcome to another edition of Scott and Diana Talk Travel. I'm Scott Jordan, your host today, along with my wicked mother-in-law, Diana.
I'm that one. I am that person.
Good to see you, Diana. And we have our regular guest, David. David, how are you today?
I'm doing great today. I'm going river rafting in Idaho on the main salmon next week, so I'll be in your state. I'll be thinking of you.
Oh, really? Well, how far will you be from us? Can you come down and do a little visit?
I'm not able to. I'm doing a carpool thing with friends, but I'll be thinking of you on the river.
All right. Well,
is it cold? Isn't it going to be cold on the river?
The water will be cold in the 50s, but the forecast looks like it'll be in the 70s and maybe 80 by a week from Sunday. It's hard to know exactly where we are in the mountains versus the weather forecast, but it should be.
Where do you have to go? What town do you go to?
Near Salmon or something we start, but I don't really know the layout. I'm just going along for the ride.
For the ride.
Is it guided? I gather it is.
No, it's not. It's a non-commercial trip with friends, so it's guys and gals that have been there.
You're probably not far from us.
A dozen times.
You know, when you go in, if you, I drive.
Your sound isn't good, Scott.
Can you not hear me, guys?
Now I can.
Okay, so let's go. Let's jump right in. I think it's just going to be the three of us today. I've invited a few folks, but unfortunately, they couldn't make it. If we can finish early, we'll finish early. If we've got stuff to chat about, we'll keep talking. But today's topic, which was suggested by Dirk, who another regular guest who's not here, is pet peeves with travel. What could make your travel experience, especially as it relates to packing, better? What's your frustration with traveling? So, it's kind of an interesting topic. I think Brittany is listening in, and Brittany, RVs, are you camping? So I'm actually able to monitor, some people's comments on Facebook for the first time ever. Brittany, if there are other additional comments, if you'd like to bring them in so that people can be interactive. There are a few people watching.
Yep, I'm checking the other socials too for.
All right, I shared it to my personal channel and doing the recording, and I appreciate it, Brittany. So, this is kind of intended to be a softball layup topic of conversation, because a few weeks ago, someone whose name I forget made a recommendation that we do these packing cubes, and we started developing those, sort of pockets to go, little packages, and thought that that as a result of this discussion, we would have additional ideas on how that would be easier. I want to share with you my screen because it's a 2-minute video, which I don't know if you've ever heard of bundle packing. Have you guys ever heard of bundle packing?
No.
Let me share my screen, and can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on one second. I am going to make this a featured. Oh crap! Can you see my screen? All right, you can. Okay, so this is just 2 minutes and 25 seconds. So bear with me. This is a younger version of myself. Jordan, I'm the CEO and founder of SCOTTeVEST Travel Club, and I'm going to Europe for a 10-day trip. Usually, when I go for a long trip, I pack way too much. And I get there and I discover that I didn't need all this stuff. So what I did this time was I found on the internet this awesome site called onebag.com. And it has these great directions on how to pack with just one bag for extended trips and not have to check your luggage. Now, onebag.com recommends this great company. It's called Red Ox, and it weighs 3.2 pounds. And it's the Air Boss. And if you look at it, when I first got this in the mail, I thought, you gotta be kidding me. This is a laptop case. How am I gonna fit all this stuff in here? Well, I'm gonna show you. This weighs a total of 20 pounds, including the 3-pound bag. This started out weighing 10 pounds. This would be 27 pounds versus 20. And sure, I lose the wheels, but the wheels are going to break. This is already starting to break. It's already, starting to not work. This is the way to go. I'm Scott Jordan, and I am really out of here. I'm taking off to Amsterdam. Wish me luck. All right, so there you go.
Hi, I'm John Holloway with Holloway Travel Outfitters and Packing Like.
There we go. So it was a crappy video, candidly. I was
okay, but okay, David and I were in Mongolia at the same time, and we were only allowed to bring when we left Ulaanbaatar and flew on the we had one plane ride in Mongolia, and we could bring, how was it, 21 pounds or something like that. So I had my big suitcase, and then in Ulaanbaatar, which everybody had a bigger suitcase. I think maybe David didn't. And then I packed everything in my 21-pound bag. I could have gone on the whole trip with the 21-pound bag. I think. David, did you have more than one bag?
I traveled light, and I packed one carry-on bag or one roll-on bag for the whole trip. And
was it more than 21 pounds?
I don't think so. I think
wow.
It was less. Yeah, I went around the world with about 21 pounds or less.
You know, what I find is you don't need nearly as much stuff when you travel that you think you do.
Correct.
Especially once you realize that, you're going to be seeing different people every day for the most part. And even if you do travel with the same tour group, how important is it that you have a different color blouse and outfit every single day, and it interferes with your ability?
In the 80s, are you old enough or remember Val packs? They were suitcases. They like hanging bags that folded together. Yeah. Yes. Well, Scott's father-in-law, my husband, and Laura's father, we were going to China in the middle 80s. There were no such things as packing cubes. I could have used them then. And I remember he said to me, we were going to China and then Bangkok, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and stop in Hawaii on the way home. And that was like 3 weeks in the summer. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I've never packed for it as such an unusual trip. So I remember I got everything out about 2 weeks ahead, and Richard said to me, put everything on the bed. And he said, you know what I would do? I would cut it in half. You're not going to need all of that. So I put my stuff back in the Val pack. It didn't fit in then. And the week later he said, why don't you put everything out on the bed? Again, he said, why don't you cut that in half? So I went with a quarter of the clothes that I started to go with in 1986. I had plenty of clothes. So I did, and now from that point on, I don't take too many things, I didn't travel as lightly as you, David, but I do.
Every time you come to Sun Valley, you have a lot of stuff.
Well, I have stuff for the dogs, and I have stuff that I leave, but this time I'm coming with one bag, a tiny carry-on.
All right. Well, you were expecting you to drum up business for the retail store all over town with me. I'm going to walk around and do everything we can to get more people here. So,
are there any people visiting Sun Valley?
You know, it's hard to say. I mean, let's stick to the topic and then we can go off topic. So in terms of the packing pet peeves, I mean, that bundle packing actually did work. That video was extraordinarily boring, candidly, you know, and it wasn't very helpful or explanatory. You know, I literally did it and never watched it until now. It had over 80,000 views. You know, which is a lot of people to watch a shitty video, candidly. But the methodology works great. The problem is, if you're going to multiple places, you know, you got to unbundle everything every time you go. So it's a little frustrating. It's not set up for, like, I like to pack. My socks are in one place, my underwear is in another place. I know where my dock kit is. You know, it's a little easier when things are kind of unbundled, if you will.
I pack in the cubes. Do you have the cubes? I have 3 sizes of cubes. One for slacks, one for sweaters, and one for, you know, even the shoes go in one of them. And they compress.
We're trying to do some version of cubes ourselves, although, you know, I'm not sure I fully understand the, you know, the methodology that we're going with. You know, it started out with being, you know, sort of a mobile pocket, if you will, you know, but we're waiting for revisions to see. And, you know, another thing I kind of want to go a little off topic is we're going to do a mask for SCOTTeVEST, and we got tons of requests or feedback on masks. And then I started searching for masks to see what other people are doing. And it seemed, what are you doing, David? What do you got going? You eating? You gonna share?
Italian zabaione. If I can't be in Italy, I'm gonna be having Italian zabaione.
All right, well, you know, bring enough for everyone. So, you know, in terms of mask, and, you know, I guess that does have some relation to packing frustrations tangentially, but you know, it seems like we can't do anything unique on mask. You know, anything, all we're going to do is add our logo, and it just seems pandering to the whole mask situation.
Except I walk every day in a big city, and when I see somebody with a cute mask, I always say cute mask or whatever it is, and I want one that says, "I wear a mask, why don't you?" That I would like to do, but that has a mean side to it.
Well, you only do, who are you talking to? The people without the mask?
Correct.
Well, the problem is the people who are going to read it are the people who wear masks.
I know. And then I decided I'm not doing that. I'll just hold up a sign that says wear a mask.
I got mask shamed. I accidentally went someplace without a mask and got mask shamed. I felt very embarrassed. But, you know, I don't know that there's that much to talk about this subject. You know, it's kind of boring subject. We can just wrap into other things. You know, packing frustrations. I mean, obviously, you know, we all have packing frustrations. We all find our solutions for it. I think the best solution is bring less. You know,
yes.
I think if you bring less, your frustrations will be limited. You don't need 2 of everything. You know, anything that you need as a backup, you know, consider whether you can buy it, you know, on location, and leave it at that. You know, I want to remind everyone we are having our Father's Day sale. How's it doing, by the way? Okay. So if for anyone who's got dads out there that would like to add to their, no, you got a dad, David?
I have a deceased dad.
I have one too. And so do you, Scott.
Yes, I do. Oh, Sue Wright is watching. Thanks for watching, Sue Wright. I appreciate it. We have a total of 6 watchers here, you know, so, you know, and the retail store update, if I can tell you what's going on there, we're doing, Laura has structured Pocket Science Academy, where we invite, you know, probably 10 people in the community that have a lot of outreach to other people in the community, concierge. People work at hotels and popular restaurants, and trying to get them familiarized with our company so that they can come on over and do some shopping. So
is the store open every day or no? What's the
Well, we're waiting for you to get here to work it, but it is open every day from 1 to 4-ish, but you know, there's not enough foot traffic here, and we're not advertising yet, and so, you know, we're not seeing, you know, any results. That's the point of this, is we're getting some pamphlets made, and, you know, we're going to do some, you know, advertising and articles and see where that takes us.
Yeah, well, in Science Academy, Mom, what we're doing is we're inviting people like concierges, doormen at Sun Valley Resort, people, you know, golf pros, people, anyone who deals with the tourists. And we're doing like a personal shopper experience with each one of them one-on-one. They'll pick out of a pocket or a hat, like a category, like a vest or a jacket, and we'll find the perfect one for them. Then we're bringing them upstairs for some hors d'oeuvres and doing a fashion show where they show off the product we just gave them, which that's when we find out they just got it.
Do any of the hotels have like showcases in their hotels? Or no. I can't, only Sun Valley maybe.
No, and they don't even really.
They don't really. I mean, because all of our, I'm in a big city, and all of our hotels have the showcases.
Now we're meeting with the company that does all of the brochure racks in like the Pacific Northwest. They're coming up between the 19th and the 22nd. And then we also had for the Sun Valley Chamber of Commerce, which is no longer called that, the Visitor Center. We have brochures we're printing for them. But that's about all we can do. That's why we're doing the outreach to the individuals. And we're doing like the checkout people at the grocery store, because all the tourists go through there and they ask them where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our...
That's the promotional plan
yes.
du jour. And then, you know, do some virtual shopping experiences, which should be starting next week, I believe. Yeah.
I think that should be successful, because I know everybody is still, I mean, I still know, I mean, here in this city, I still have friends that are at home. Maybe that because they're older, I don't know. And they're doing a lot more on the internet. I have young friends, old friends, they're all ordering things on the internet.
Well,
rather than, well, first of all, none of our malls are open. Then even, you know, and who knows if they'll ever open.
Well, the Idaho Mountain Express, our local paper, did a survey, which I clicked on because that's the only way you can see the results. And it was, since the bars and restaurants have opened, have you been? And what percentage do you think?
What's the answer?
36.3% have gone.
Are bars open now?
They're open as of today or tomorrow. Phase 4 hits. If it's today or tomorrow.
And is phase 4 the last phase?
Yeah. So
we're
bars, nightclubs. You can go visit people at assisted living places now. I forget if it's today or tomorrow. Governor Whittle had a meeting.
So are there still restrictions? Or?
Yeah, they have to be. I mean, like the bars have to be at, I think it's
50% capacity or
25%.
And when is phase 5? Is that even...
There's no such thing. Phase 4 is the last phase.
Oh, so there's no normal phase?
That's the new normal.
Back to normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did read a fairly interesting report. I'm still, we might as well migrate into, the virus conversation because that's still top of everyone's mind. Hi, Leslie Fritz. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for watching. Brittany, if you have anything to add, you can do so. Otherwise, if you have things you want to take care of on your own, you're welcome to. But this report showed that, and listen, I'm just repeating facts, that the overwhelming majority of people that are at risk of dying from COVID are old people with underlying conditions. So if you don't have an underlying condition and you are not old, the risk of something, of you dying, not of you catching the fever or the virus and having a horrible several weeks, but the risk of you dying is really low. So like in your case, Diana, because you're old, you're at a risk factor, but because you don't have an underlying condition that you're really, if you were to get, the virus, there's a highly likely chance you'll survive. Very likely, like 99% plus.
Well, let me tell you, as far as the statistics go in this state, the reason so many old people are dying, they're all in the nursing homes.
Yeah.
Right? That is basically what it's all about. Young children are dying, 30-year-olds are dying. There was somebody just died, was 28 years old with no underlying conditions, dead.
Had a transplant at Northwestern, a double lung.
What'd she say?
Oh yeah, a young person with a lung transplant. They showed what her
oh, a double transplant. Yeah.
Yeah, but from
he lived.
And I can show you. I'll share my screen with you. But this is hard data. Showing that quite literally. Let me find it. Let me share my screen. It's fascinating because we can't rely on. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah, I've had to babysit my mom and stop her from going out because she has conditions that would definitely kill her. But she's so sick of being at home that she's just like, I have to go. I have to get out. So can't stop her.
For a sec, please. So I'm looking at just this webpage, and there's a missing image there. Can you
I click on it, copy link address, and send me the link.
Hold on, I'm sorry, guys, but let me pull that up. Okay, so look, the age of coronavirus deaths, the current situation, this shows the total number of deaths in the U.S. here. I don't know.
100 and something thousand.
Yeah, I'm not sure. New York City.
100,000 people.
But no, this is just New York City. So because they have the best reporting. So in New York City, as of May 13th, there have been a total of 15,000 deaths. May 13th, a month ago. But it gets further. So 75 years of age account for the overwhelming majority of them. But of those 75 years plus, this is how many had underlying conditions. 5,000 of the 7,000 had underlying conditions. So, 2,000 had no underlying conditions that died. So, and then if you look, April 14th data, it's almost identical proportions. And the overwhelmingly, 60% are male that die. So, and it's actually, it's very interesting. In any event, the takeaway that someone was telling me as a result of that is if all the old people with underlying conditions or people with underlying conditions just quarantine themselves, the rest of us wouldn't have to quarantine ourselves.
Yeah, except they're now.
That's not true. You would still have to quarantine.
Well, the other issue that they're talking about now, people who are recovering from it, the recovery is weird. They've got all sorts of lingering symptoms that nobody expected, and they don't know kind of what's going on and how
correct
last long-term, impact of it, which is why we all need to be careful still.
Yeah, there is, there might be, there's no way we're going to know that if you got the illness, does that now take 10 years off your your life expectancy.
Well, and that's what they interviewed locals in something I read yesterday. And they were all saying, I mean, one woman like our age said she feels like she aged 30 years since she's had this. Like she can't exercise for more than 7 minutes.
Oh, really? Even though she's recovered?
She's recovered. And even one of the emergency room physicians who had it said he's fully recovered, yet he couldn't believe how long he was completely exhausted, and just it lasted so much longer than he ever could have imagined. So, I mean, that's the other reason to still be careful.
Yeah, I was just doing some weird math in my head, and there are many people who are carriers and asymptomatic. That Cynthia, the World Health Organization had some conflicting information on that. Only partially, though. But if this is not intended to be a political discussion, but if Trump has 20,000 people in a rally, and if you just do some simple math, of those 20,000, 700 are likely to be asymptomatic carrying the virus. On average, 3% or thereabouts of a general population, is likely to have it. And of those 700 people in a rally, yelling and screaming next to each other without masks, how many people are those 700 people going to infect? I suspect close to all 20,000.
Thousands of people, yes.
And the only ones they wouldn't infect are the ones that have already gotten it. I mean,
but you can. We're not so sure that you can't re-get it, as they say.
Yeah. The
re-get is my new word.
Problems are. Yeah. It's a crazy world, and what I recently traveled to Salt Lake City last weekend, and I apologize for not doing this last weekend, I guess. And I was fascinated by how open it felt. I took precautions. But people were passing pens back and forth. They did check my temperature when I came to the racetrack. And again, that only deals with asymptomatic people or symptomatic people. But there was one area where you had to sign something and they gave you a clean pen, and then they had a dirty pen. And then you walked over one step over, and then everyone's using the same pen. But there is a overwhelming perception that Diana, we just lost you, is that the virus is gone, in areas of the country. And it's a shame, because while I do think that there was a great deal of overreacting and foolishness going on, I don't think it's gone, and I don't think that you should just revert to shaking hands again.
I don't think we're going to be shaking hands until we have a vaccine. If then.
Yeah, I don't want to shake hands at all.
No, I took my car yesterday in for
I have no desire to shake hands.
I go into Lexus yesterday. They didn't take my temperature, but when they had to keep it for a while, and they were giving me a loaner. So I had to sign for it. They had a whole box of new pens sitting there. And he said, either throw the pen in the garbage or it's yours.
That was very generous. They gave you a pen?
Well, I had 2 pens. Once when I got the loaner, and once when I paid my bill. So that was really a big deal. I kept both pens. And the guy that brought down my loaner was the guy who had on gloves. And he had a plastic, like a plastic thing that he sat on, and he took it out of the car with him, and with the gloves on. And then I got in the car, and I took my Purell, and I did the steering wheel. And I mean, I'm not very unusual in Chicago.
Well, Laura and I were saying, by the way, before you get here, Laura and I are both going to get tested, not just for.
But you get tested that day. The next day you could have virus.
Diana,
No.
Yeah, all right, then do you not want me to get tested at all? I mean, seriously, I'm trying to do you a solid.
I'm going to try and get tested when I come home.
When you come home from
yeah, when I come home. because I will been on 2 plane rides. The smart thing for me to do would be tested when I get off the plane in some, you know, in Idaho.
What you should
Well, you could. We could all do that together. I mean, you know.
What you should do is take some photos of your travel costume.
Oh, I definitely want your full travel costume and the whole kit.
Everybody says it's really smart what you're doing with the goggles and everything, but I mean, I'm curious.
You got to put on a full hazmat suit.
I just talked to he's an urgent care doctor from Northwestern. He's my neighbor. And I said, do I need to wear the goggles? He said, no, but you need to wear gloves and a mask and don't eat anything or drink anything on the plane. You know, just
glasses on. I would fake glasses.
Well, I'm gonna wear plain glasses. He said I don't need a ski goggles.
Don't touch your face.
I never touch my face. But I will wear gloves on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get here, do you have to stay 6 feet away from us?
Not if we're all tested. That's why I want, you know, if
we could all go and be tested when I get there.
Yeah, we should just do that.
That sounds like fun.
I don't know if they send them out.
The 2 of you are afraid of needles. Why would I want to go anywhere with the 2 of you?
No, I don't care. I'm not scared of needles anymore. But you know, we have to figure out how long the results take, because I don't want to be the one responsible for getting Diana dead. I don't want a dead Diana.
That's only the Scott is dead.
Well, now that Diana's involved, maybe we will.
Oh, dead Diana. Then you won't have any parents, because everybody will be dead. Oh boy, you'll be an orphan.
I'll have Laura. That's all I need. You know, all I remember is she doesn't take care of me now, but what she did with Margot, if I become problematic, I mean, she'll put me on a leash and walk me around, and
Margot wasn't problematic. That's different. Margot was just ill, disabled.
All right, well, I'm mentally ill.
Well, I'm surprised nobody chimed in, maybe because it's Father's Day coming up.
Well, you know, I'm not sure if we adequately promoted this. I mean, you know, I don't, Spud was tied up with other things. I mean, you know, I would encourage us all to come up with a really interesting topic, and Brittany to do her best to help promote this well in advance. I don't know what we're doing to promote it. You know, candidly, you know, whatever it is, it's not enough. You know, because I think this is interesting stuff and interesting content, and I really want to get the benefit of a lot of people's input on what we can be doing to make SCOTTeVEST better and everything else. So that's my goal. But if no one has anything more to talk about packing pet peeves, then we can call it a day, and I can get some meat. I'm on cabbage soup diet.
Oh, I hope you're not on that. You're on that cabbage soup diet, which is
look at me. Remember when I showed? I'm not nowhere nearly as bad as I was.
I say pick a number on the scale and stay there. Not
you don't stay there.
I've weighed exactly the same thing for more than a year now.
Oh, okay. You know, more than a year now. Congratulations. You are 82 years old.
No, I'm 81.
Okay. In one of your 82 years, you've managed that. As long as I've known you previously, you've been vacillating as much as I have. Proportion.
No, I don't. You go up 10, 15 pounds.
I am also bigger than you. You go up 5-7 pounds.
I haven't done that in a year and a half. Wait, a year ago May. Yeah, it's a year.
But before that, you were up, you were down, you were up, you were down, you were eating it. So,
well, I was going to the Canyon Ranch where I'm never going again.
Why?
Well, they really gave me the best advice in the 35 years I went there about what to eat, and I would do it for 2 weeks, And then I couldn't do it anymore. And guess what? I'm doing exactly what they told me in the past 35 years, and it works. I have the same breakfast and the same lunch every day and a different dinner, and that's it.
What do you have for breakfast and lunch?
For breakfast, I have a scrambled egg on a half a piece of delicious toast and 2 pieces of, with no nitrates, bacon and fruit, usually berries, and coffee. For lunch, I have a salad with either turkey or chicken in it and fruit. And for dinner, I have a dinner, and that's it. And that's what Canyon Ranch told me to do.
Why didn't you listen to them?
It took 35 years for me not to listen.
Dave,
and so now, do you know how much money I spent there over the years? Oh my gosh.
You keep your figure looking svelte, you know.
Well, I'm an old lady, and you know, and I don't eat as much, but I for the first time in the past 3-4 months, I've been out, and guess what I had in both places for lunch? A cheeseburger.
Is it delicious?
Oh, one at Gibson's, one at, oh yeah, delicious.
French fries?
Only once. The second time I had fruit.
Okay.
So I went back on, yeah, and you have to control yourself. That's all, Scott. And I don't drink anymore.
I lost 8.5 pounds since Monday.
Yeah, but that's half of that's water.
More than half.
I mean, I'm visibly smaller, and I'm 8.5 pounds lighter. So
okay. So when you get to the weight you want to be, stay there.
I want to be at 175. That's when I look. I think it was 165 when I met Laura.
Well, when you get there, stay there. Figure out how to stay there.
Okay.
But it involves no drinking.
Well, you know, it's interesting that a large part of travel is eating out, you know, and having, you know, you know, it's tough because I love to eat, and it's my way of therapy. It's Americans somehow, you know, the Europeans do it better. They eat healthier and
they eat smaller meals.
Yeah, there's big gigantic meals all the time. So I am not going to have my cell phone on me all weekend long, you know, starting this evening. I'm not going to watch any news other than the nightly news. I'm not going to watch all the stuff. I need to go off grid. I have problems. So if you want to reach us, Diana, you have to call our home number, you know, which we don't usually answer, but we'll keep our phone.
You never answer that phone.
Email Laura, and but we don't have a way to call out because
well, this weekend, what is today, Friday? Tomorrow I'm going out for dinner, and Sunday I don't think we're having the bake-off cook-off.
Why not?
Well, it's Father's Day, and Linda tells me she's not doing it until the fall because they go out to Mundelein every
Not Father's Day. Next weekend's Father's Day.
Not this weekend?
No.
Oh. Are you sure?
Otherwise, I screwed up for Father's Day sale.
In a major way, yeah, she's sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
We do know.
You do?
We have sales and promotions scheduled around it. So, yes, trust me.
Oh. So it's actually the 21st?
Yes.
Oh. Well, Linda is going to give Bob a Father's Day card this Sunday. I guess she forgot. She didn't know either. Because you know what we do? I only do one. There's only one day of the week. Sunday. Did you know that? Do you know what the rest are called? I said this before. Day, because they're all alike.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. It's for you, you don't have a job, but you know, I Saturday and Sundays are meaningful to me.
Those are your weekend days?
Yeah, you know, and we treat them as such. So, and Jim's going camping this weekend.
Where?
Real test to see whether we can survive without Jim for a day. One day. I'm sweating it.
Where's he going camping?
Where are you going? Are you going nearby, Jim? Or?
Plans are actively changing. This weather is terrible, so we might go to City of Rocks.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't wear masks at work, right?
No, Jim's already had it, and and so we're not gonna. Jim's not gonna give it to us, and we're not gonna give it to him. And Jim's only here a couple days a week. He's elected to work from home for the most part, which he's welcome to do. It's interesting. Laura and I actually get along. Jim, you might find this interesting. We get along a lot better when no one's here. We find that our interactions are somehow impacted by having another person here. And I actually discovered it this morning. I was more frustrated with Laura, going through trying to do something together. And
I get along better when you're not here.
Hey! You
Yeah,
got
I had a great time with either of you.
Exactly. I'm here by myself. I get along great. It's just me and the poodles.
I just cracked all the whiskey.
Easy.
My day before.
No, I'm looking around
I was looking because you said the weather. I went to click on the weather.
All right, we're going to say goodbye. I'm going to get some beef. We'll talk to you this weekend. Thank you, David, for joining in. Let me see if anyone from Facebook had anything to say. I don't even see their comments anymore. Hold on. I think everyone is done. So we're going to have to figure out the future of these, Laura. I don't know if I think we need to tie it into the retail store, tie it into more. Okay, we'll figure it all out. David, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Always fun to listen. I gave a referral to my friend Joe, who lives in Sun Valley, a friend from college. So maybe he'll come by your store someday.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you. I hope he does. Make sure he mentions your name. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.